One of the biggest rivalries in Class 4 girls basketball is now part of a conference affiliation. We're here at the Lindbergh Center at Minnetonka, home of the Hopkins Royals, defending Class 4A state champion. Tonight they host St. Michael-Albertville for the first of two meetings, as the two schools are now members of the Lake Conference. What once was a non-conference series is now a big-time rivalry. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Peden, joined by Alex Nagel. And Alex, I thought you were a Northwest Suburban guy. This is the second time you've been to Hopkins this week. I guess the Lake Conference has a magnetic attraction for you.
Yeah, it really does, Mike. This is a great place to be, and you and I have been here before doing other games, so we're no strangers to this place by any means. But this game tonight, I think, is going to be really important because I'm really interested to see, number one, how Hopkins responds emotionally after that tough game against Wayzata just a few nights ago.
And speaking of that game, it was a tough game that started late due to a power outage, but Hopkins brought plenty of power in their backup generator. Paige Bueckers had a solid game. Maya Nagel, KK Adams. You know this Hopkins group. They're loaded, and that depth goes a long way. That's why they haven't lost since 2018.
You know, we all know about Paige Bueckers, Mike. I think everybody does. She really doesn't need any more accolades than what she already has. I think what's important for Hopkins is the supporting cast, as you mentioned. They're the ones who really help open up a lot of opportunities for Paige Bueckers, and that's why they're so good right now.
St. Michael-Albertville, 83 straight wins in the Mississippi 8. That may be a streak that stands for a while. Ken Hamry told me at the start of the year, be careful what you wish for. He felt the Knights grew out of the Mississippi 8. They moved into the Lake, so now you get Wayzata, Hopkins, Minnetonka, Eden Prairie. This is a big test for them, but as we've seen over the years, when they meet non-conference play, these two teams, St. Michael-Albertville can give Hopkins a run.
This STMA program, Mike, knows a lot about big matchups. They've been in the big time before, and this won't faze them one bit. They're ready tonight.
And two big reasons for that are Mackenzie Kramer, who's headed to Lehigh, the latest in the Lehigh, Minnesota pipeline, and ninth grader Tessa Johnson, the younger sister of Ray Johnson at Iowa State. Mackenzie Kramer, she showed off her handles as an eighth grader at Becker. That hasn't changed. Tessa Johnson becoming a big-time scorer as a freshman. So the St. Michael-Albertville team, much like Hopkins, they don't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, they really do, Mike. They've got some great young players, and they're going to be really exciting to watch tonight.
A big Lake Conference game is coming our way. Stick around.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
And we're back at the Lindbergh Center. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel with you. And Alex, from the looks of it, I'd say we're at full power.
Yes, I would think so.
What excites you most about this matchup?
You know, again, what I'm really curious about, Mike, is how Hopkins responds, emotionally. They had a really tough matchup just a few nights ago against Wayzata. And sometimes when you have a game like that, it can drain you emotionally. And I think this Wayzata team, this STMA team tonight, I think they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. And I think they have something to prove here tonight.
The Lake Conference got a whole lot tougher with St. Michael-Albertville. So for Hopkins, it's nothing out of the ordinary. They're used to tough non-conference matches. And for St. Michael-Albertville, this is a big upgrade. 83 straight wins in the Mississippi 8. Mackenzie Kramer, we talked about her in the Open, has one double-double, and earlier this week dropped 31 points over Moorhead. Let's take a look at the starting five for the visiting Knights. It's Mackenzie Kramer, number 1, Tessa Johnson, number 4, Kendall Cox, number 11, Lily Tennyson, number 24, and Vanessa Alexander, number 45. For Hopkins, same five as usual. Paige Bueckers, number 1, Taylor Woodson, number 20, KK Adams, number 22, Nunu Agar, number 24, and Maya Nagel, number 34. And I should point out, same as usual without Amaya Battle. As you know, she was dealing with injuries and missed several games, but the fact that Hopkins is picking up big win after big win shows you how deep this team is.
One thing about Hopkins, when I watched them play Park Center during the Holiday Classic, I was just so impressed with her supporting cast, particularly Maya Nagel. She was just so strong, in the lane, grabbing rebounds, making big stops on defense. She's going to be a really tough load tonight for this STMA team, Mike.
Maya Nagel with 4 20-point games in a row since conference play began, 6 double-doubles. And Paige Bueckers leads the state in assists, 9.5 per game, 5th in steals, 10 assists or more in 5 games. And I was here last year with Aquinas. If Paige Bueckers struggles, and that doesn't happen often, doesn't rattle her a bit. She has a lot of teammates she can feed it to. There's Taylor Woodson, who fires the 3 off the mark. But same Michael-Albertville, one of those teams that can hang with Hopkins. The Knights 11-3, Hopkins 16-0. That is an offensive foul on KK Nunu Agara.
And good job by STMA getting back on transition defense on that particular sequence.
Apologies for my voice. I'm not at full strength yet. Getting over a cold, so
you're getting there, Mike. You're getting there. I know the feeling.
It's not the first time I've lost my voice. That's all right. No one's listening to me anyway, right? Tessa Johnson inside to Vanessa Alexander. She'll shoot 2.
And good job by the Knights getting through that press that Hopkins was applying. Good job by Alexander, too, when she got the ball, taking it right strong to the hoop.
Vanessa Alexander, outside of basketball, likes to go water skiing and wakeboarding.
Ooh. I'm guessing she's probably better at water skiing than I am.
That's a good assumption. Taylor Woodson gets Hopkins on the board. We're tied at 2 early. Paige Bueckers with the steal. Hopkins, they thrive in transition. She'll get
something that the Royals are so good at.
She'll get the time. Taylor Woodson gets the bucket there. And most teams don't do this. Hopkins, as you know, they use that pressure right from the start. 3-pointer does not drop for Lily Tennyson. Here comes Paige Bueckers. This is her first game since being named a McDonald's All-American. KK Adams, 3 is no good. Rebound goes to Tessa Johnson. Johnson to Cox for 3. You bam.
You don't want to leave her open.
And Kendall's older sister was part of Elk River State Championship team back in 2016. Kelsey Cox, I believe.
Yep, Kelsey Cox.
Bueckers for 3. Yes.
Oh. She makes it look easy, doesn't she?
She doesn't shoot a lot of threes, though. Just 18 entering this game. There's the steal and the layup.
That's one thing you have to guard against. They're applying that press. You can't stand back there and wait for something to happen. You got to make a decisive move.
Paige Bueckers, a walking highlight reel. No surprise if you followed Hopkins. As we said, first game since she was named a McDonald's All-American. And how about the accolades she has picked up? USA Basketball Female Athlete of the Year for what she did this past season in the FIBA U19 World Cup. McDonald's All-American. Will likely get Miss Basketball. She's going to UConn. What an amazing athlete.
You know, she really is. And, you know, the ironic thing, Mike, is that you and I have both seen our share of great players over the years. You know, Taylor Hill and so many others. But yet you never think, you know, at that time that somebody like Paige Bueckers would come along, and yet she has, and she's been doing so much over the last 3-4 years. It's just amazing.
Well, even from this school, remember when Nia
And look
Coffey
what
was
she
all the
does
rage?
there.
Here comes Paige, a dish to Agara for the layup. Hopkins had something of a slow start against Wayzata. Doesn't look like they're suffering that issue here. But we have a long way to go. Alexander out to Tennyson for three. I think Becker's got a piece of it. All board, Johnson got it. St. Michael-Albertville, they're used to the Lindbergh Center. They took part in the Breakdown Tip-Off Classic against Farmington, and they play Hopkins every year, so this facility is not foreign to them. Woodson, baseline. Look for Gar in the back door. I don't know what the crowd was like for Tuesday, but I do understand Gino Oriema and Lindsay Whalen were among the spectators for that Hopkins-Wayzata game.
Yes, I was not here, but I did hear that, yes.
I thought you were here Tuesday.
No. I wish I
wanted
would
to
have
be
been
there. If I wasn't sick, I would have. Oh, nice. Mackenzie Kramer left open. That's a risk you run, though, when you run that full court pressure. But with Hopkins, they'll take that risk. KK Adams for three, pure. KK was on hand to watch one of her friends, Ronnie Porter, pick up her 1,000th point yesterday when Como Park demolished Minnehaha Academy. Three on the way.
Damn.
Kendall Cox drills it.
Well, STMA not phased by the quick start that Hopkins got in this game.
Well, when you consider the non-conference schedule over the years, they're used to playing top-level competition. Agara can't get the answer. And remember, these two teams, they played each other every year. The only difference is this is just a conference game now.
Yep.
Tessa Johnson
Oh,
weaving
boy.
through traffic. Good move, just didn't go in. Paige Bueckers turns on the accelerator, blocking foul. And that is Tim Layton, Communications Director for the Minnesota State High School League.
Yep.
You and I know him quite well. Well, I know him in particular because of all the Lynx games he and I covered together for separate entities. Paige Becker, side fade, bullseye. Well, Paige Becker showing her three-point range.
Well, she has that three-point range. You don't have to worry about that.
Has a pair of 30-point games to her credit. Cross-court skip to Mackenzie Kramer. Bullseye.
And so does Mackenzie Kramer. She's been camping out in that left corner.
I still remember calling that sick handle she had against Como Park in the 3A state tournament. Back when she had that bowl cut for Becker. Mackenzie had the crossover move. It went viral.
Another chance for the Knights here.
Deep three for Tessa Johnson. It's
Wow,
there.
look at that.
And the Knights take the lead, 18-17. As we said, STMA, one of those teams that will not get phased by a Hopkins run.
Showing a little bit of a 2-3 matchup zone here.
And I wish I had my voice, because I would be feeling it right now. Maya Naji, turnaround no good. Didn't have a lot to work with there. Maya, as you know, the younger sister of Zeke Naji, who's playing at Arizona.
Yep.
A member of the Pac-12. Another three.
Wow.
The Knights knocking down threes and taking names. Lily Tennyson. And if this keeps up, I won't have a voice. Paige Bueckers feeling it. Bullseye.
One thing you have to admire about Hopkins and their half-court offense is how well they pass the ball, Mike. They can really stretch out that 2-3 zone and get those cracks so they can penetrate.
11 points for Paige, and her third triple. She doesn't get more than 2 or 3 a game. Tonight could be an exception. Tessa Johnson avoids the 5-second call. Another three. Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
Kendall Cox with the third triple, and this is turning into a shootout.
I guess so.
6 3-pointers for the Knights. Paige missing a three.
Finally showing she's human. Look.
Vanessa Alexander scores in transition. And the Knights with their largest lead of the game. Bueckers. Inside to Nagel. Woodson. No good. This is a matchup of number 1 and number 4 in the 4A rankings. Another three. Nothing doing that time. Dead ball rebound to St. Michael-Albertville. Well, Hopkins, as you know, hosts the Tip-Off Classic every year. St. Michael-Albertville will get to host a breakdown event February 1st, the Community Clash. And the host school will face Chaska that day. And Chaska, no slouch. They've got a lot of young pieces. But I think the difference, St. Michael-Albertville, Wayzata have a little more depth compared to Park Center, Chaska. You were at that Park Center game. I watched it thanks to CCX, who was kind enough to syndicate this game. Adalia Mackenzie, she could be the next big name. When Paige graduates, she dropped 41, I think. Hopkins got the win, but Adalia Mackenzie, she's got a bright future.
Oh, she sure does.
She's a junior, if I'm correct. Mackenzie Kramer, 3-ball, corner pocket.
Look out. Mackenzie Kramer administrating a hurt on this Hopkins team here at Lindbergh Center.
Her
up by 9.
Largest lead of the game in this offensive frenzy. Elena Contreras can't hit the three. Kramer is fouled. This may seem surprising to the casual observer, but again, this Knights team, as Ken Hamry calls a timeout, this Knights team, when you look at the teams they played, Farmington, Como Park, they play a lot of top-tier 3A and 4A teams. So this is nothing unusual for the Knights.
You know, I was here last year when Wayzata came into Hopkins. That was Super Bowl weekend, in fact. And Wayzata jumped out to a lead, and they were playing extremely well. And it took a very, very concerted effort by Hopkins to make the comeback in that game to get the win. But I don't know what it is. Maybe these teams that come in to Hopkins, maybe they just feel looser. I'm not sure, but I think that could be a part of it.
Well, they're not supposed to win.
That's the thing. I think maybe the pressure's off of them a little bit.
Oh, Hopkins needed that one. .9:45 to go in the first half.
Look out.
Another three. Some of the other teams STMA have played, Elk River, Maple Grove, De La Salle, the defending 3A champs. They lost that one. They were supposed to play Wayzata last weekend. That game got rescheduled to the 30th, and they're looking to make up their game with Lakeville North. Paige Bueckers pulls up, and the Yukon commit up to 13. That will be a foul on KK Adams.
That'll be the 4th team foul now on the Royals, as we're right at the midway point of this first half.
And go back to what you were saying about teams playing looser. At the start of the season, the Strip put out the story, Star Tribune, suggesting if this Hopkins team was the best ever in the state of Minnesota. And Hopkins getting featured by Slam because if they go undefeated, not that St. Michael-Albertville cares as Kendall Cox gets the baseline drive. If Hopkins goes undefeated, they would have an opportunity to compete in nationals.
Yeah.
At least that's what they're trying to do. Beckers feeding it inside to Nagel, and she'll shoot 2. Maya Nagel, 6 double-doubles. 7 games of 20 or more this season.
And Nagel just a sophomore, too.
$18.3 points, 8.1 rebounds per game.
Ruth Sin of St. Thomas here tonight, enjoying the game.
Well, if St. Thomas goes to Division I, Bruce Sin, at least until they get a decision, as Tessa Johnson misses the 3. Knights get the save.
That was some great hustle by Emma Miller. Just 5'1", but boy, I tell you what, she showed a lot of hustle and a lot of heart grabbing that errant shot, giving the Knights another chance.
So Rusin, she's got to pull some double duty scouting here. With St. Thomas at the moment staying in D3. 31-24. Maya Nagel puts back row a miss. And if she gets going, that could help Hopkins in a big way. Here comes the Hopkins pressure again. And it leads to a turnover. And again, few teams can implement the pressure the way Hopkins does.
I tell you what,
from the inbound.
Well, it's simply because of their length. They can just trap you, and man, once you're trapped, you're in a tough spot.
Contreras for 3. No good. Knights looking to run. Kendall Cox scores. I think Knights fans wanted a foul on Beckers there, but not an easy thing to do, score with Paige Beckers on top of you. Contreras, baseline jumper, no good. And an over-the-back foul on Taylor Woodson.
I think that's one of the most misunderstood aspects of the game, the so-called over-the-back. Now, there was clear contact.
Three-ball corner
I tell you what,
for Kendall Cox. Her 4th triple, she has 16 points.
Kendall Cox making Hopkins pay.
Contreras for the answer. Right now, the Knights are hitting their 3s. Hopkins doing some damage inside. But if St. Michael-Albertville keeps shooting 3s like this, that could open up a lot. Kendall
Cox.
They
had a second opportunity too there.
Agara scoring in transition. Hopkins needed that. The margin is back to 6. Kramer, the skip. Another 3 for Cox. This one looks off. And that's a foul on Alexander. Hopkins hasn't had too many close games. They're getting a pair of them here in their conference. Nagel up and in.
That lead now whittled down to 4.
And if you leave Nagel with some space like that last play, she'll take it.
What
Tessa
a move.
Johnson. That move takes some guts.
Tell you what, on a quick first step too.
Johnson with the steal. And the dime to Emma Miller. And these are two teams who can score. Hopkins leads the state 87.1. St. Michael-Albertville 73.1. And a timeout for Hopkins. That's not something you see often.
You know, just a few moments ago, that lead was down to 4 points. And what a response by STMA, widening that gap to 8 points again.
40-32 is the score. And as we were saying, these are two teams who can score a lot. So St. Michael-Albertville, they feel the biggest benefit out of moving to the Lake Conference. Better conference foes than the Mississippi 8, which they feel could help them prepare for section play. As you know, Maple Grove has won Section 8 the last 2 years.
Yep.
Even though STMA, they fielded some strong teams. Now with Eden Prairie, Wayzata, and Hopkins, you get to play all those schools twice. It might impact the record, but it's going to prepare them for Elk River and Maple Grove, two teams who could run with them in Section 8.
Yeah.
And for Hopkins, I have to imagine Tuesday was like this, and tonight is another example that even they're not invincible. The parity we've seen is insane. So even though Hopkins has had a lot of runaway wins, they're just like any other team. Brian Cosgrove said as much. You know, if you run into an opponent that has a good night, like Wayzata did up until late, like St. Michael-Albertville is doing in this first half.
As they say in the NFL, on any given Sunday.
Well, and even UConn wasn't invincible.
Nope.
No one is. Brian Cosgrove, 6 state tournament titles. He's been leading the girls team since 1996. If I remember my CCX graphics correctly. Paige Bueckers, mid-range J, got it. .40-34. Johnson gets the foul on Bueckers. That's the last to give for the Royals. The two teams will meet again mid-February. CCX will have live coverage of that one. Hopkins and Wayzata will have their rematch on Valentine's Day. What a fitting day for a big
I was just going
section and
I was
conference
just going to
rivalry.
say that.
Well, last year was a sellout crowd.
If you have a significant other who loves basketball, that's the place you want to be.
I know I want to cover that match, but Stillwater and EP played each other that night.
Goodness
Mackenzie
gracious.
Kramer, another triple. And STMA just hanging with Hopkins here. Matching them point for point. Contreras with the 3, swish. But every time it looks like Hopkins gets a big bucket, St. Michael-Albertville has an answer. They haven't allowed Hopkins to get within 6.
Oh,
Mackenzie
goodness.
Kramer. We've seen those handles before.
We sure have.
I'll never forget losing my mind.
How have we not covered this STMA team before?
Well, politics and weather have played a part in it. Free throws coming for Taylor Woodson. I was supposed to cover the game with De La Salle, but they had that fight with Dowling Catholic. That led to some politics I had no control over. They were supposed to play Lakeville North last Saturday at the Hall of Fame Classic, but that got canceled because of bad weather. So that's why it's taken me this long.
Yeah.
But third time is the charm, at least in my case. Taylor Woodson at the line. Woodson, one of the double-digit scores for Hopkins, 14.4 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 3 double-doubles. She had 5 steals in that win over Park Center.
Oh, what a move.
Side fade by Kramer. You're going to see that a lot at Lehigh next year. Hopkins. Replay on. Foul on the Knights. They had 2 to give.
Again, Hamry wanting an explanation on that.
And they rule it a shooting foul, so Nagel will shoot 2. St. Michael-Albertville, of course, has some history in their Class 3A days. They won a state championship in 2009 against Minneapolis North.
I think we were there for that.
I was. Yes, I know I was. I think you were there too.
Yep. A little too high off the glass there by Tessa Johnson.
And that is a foul on the Knights. And here is a chance for Hopkins to regain some momentum.
Yep.
Jump ball, Hopkins with the arrow. Finds Nagel.
Wow. This is almost the same situation we saw at St. Olaf the other night when they played Augsburg in that controversial finish.
Well, this time there was more than 0.2 seconds on the clock.
Exactly.
And apparently the officials apologized to St. Olaf for the miscue.
Yes.
Lily Tennyson to shoot 2.
Free throw is so important in a close game like this, as Tennyson gets the front end to go down.
Lily Tennyson writes with her left hand, even though she shoots with her right. And now she's shooting 2. I forgot it's 1 and 1, but she makes both. Also involved in tennis, Student Council, and the National Honor Society. Alex, we've met a lot of tennis crossovers.
I know. That kind of scares me.
2 big free throws for St. Michael-Albertville. KK Adams knocks down the 3.
Just like that, a 1-point game now.
KK Adams, a 3-point specialist. Still looking to find a college.
Oh, guess.
St. Michael-Albertville answers right back. Johnson to Tennyson for the 3. 50-46, and we're still 1:45 away from halftime. When you see how these two teams play, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. Paige Bueckers, 3-ball corner pocket. That's her fourth triple. I think that's a season high.
Just watching this shooting display tonight by both teams can make you dizzy. Guess
and we're
who?
not done. Hopkins with a chance to retake the lead. They trail by as much as 10. Adams for 3. Yes! If you're a fan of defense, then I would recommend finding another game to watch.
Yes.
Both teams trading blows. Paige Bueckers hit with a foul. Tessa Johnson will shoot 2.
Paige not happy with that.
Ken Hamry calls her a legitimate Division I recruit. Moved into the starting rotation midway through last season. Also takes part in volleyball. Started basketball when she was 3 years old. Maya Nagel taking a breather. And she's got a bigger sister who's getting buckets for Iowa State. So Tessa Johnson having a lot of role models to develop her basketball talent. We're tied at 52. Let's see if Hopkins holds for the last shot. Timeout Hopkins, 32 and a half left in the first half.
You know, I don't remember us doing a first half, Mike, where we had such an incredible shooting display, particularly by the pegged underdog in this team.
Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers. 52 all. Kendall Cox with 16. Mackenzie Kramer with 13 for the Knights. For the Royals, Nagel with 10. Paige Bueckers with 18. This is a score you might see with teams like Maple Grove, White Bear Lake, Roseville for a game.
Yep.
But with how well these two teams are, with their discipline fundamentals, their shooting.
Yep.
These are two teams who have built up a pipeline. Hopkins with their 6 state titles, STMA, not as much success in 4A, but they had one in 3A, and they've built, Brian Cosgrove and Ken Hamry, a community that keeps the pipeline moving.
You know, I think we knew that Hopkins was going to have some success with their pressure defense, and they have. But yet at the same time, I think STMA has handled that pressure pretty well for the most part.
32 and a half left in the first half. Well, it goes back to what we said. This is a team, St. Michael-Albertville, they play the cream of the crop every year.
Yep.
The only difference is now they get to play some in conference. Ken Hamry knew it would be a challenge, but he told me as a result, more fans around STMA have said, I'm going to check out your games because they're not going to be 30, 40-point runaway wins like they used to. And when you have Wayzata and Hopkins and Eden Prairie, schools with big names, I could see the STMA games in this conference rivalry when these two meet again. I could see why CCX is making the trip.
Yeah.
Because I think they're going to draw a crowd.
Well, here we go, just under 10 seconds now.
Hopkins holding for the last shot. Bueckers fires the 3. No good. All right, 8/10.
Well,
Time
I think
for a tip-in. La St. Olaf.
I think Kent Hamry and his staff will feel pretty happy to go into the locker room tangled up at 52 all with this Hopkins team. I think they'll take it.
We're seeing a little strategy play out here. I see they reset the clock to 1.3.
Yeah.
Not enough time. Well, that was close. It wouldn't have counted. But the Knights go up by 10. Hopkins withstands that. Both teams trading punches, and here we are, 52 all.
Yeah, I tell you what, I talked about, early at the top, Mike, how Hopkins was going to respond coming off of that tough game. I think they responded well, but I don't think that they could have even counted on STMA coming out and shooting the three ball the way they have in this first half.
That being said, we have 18 more minutes to play, and we'll see what happens on the second 18 when we return.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and Alex Nagel with you at the Lindbergh Center, where Hopkins and St. Michael-Albertville are tied at 52. Looking at the first half numbers, Kendall Cox, 16 points to lead the Knights, 4 3-pointers. Mackenzie Kramer has 13. Paige Bueckers leads Hopkins with 18 points, 4 triples. Nagel has 10. Alex, the second half is going to be really interesting. The first 4 or 5 minutes could be crucial.
I think for STMA, Mike, I think it's going to be important for them to limit those transition opportunities that Hopkins likes to get into. If they can do that and kind of force Hopkins into more of a half-court game, they've got a real shot here. And obviously, if they can shoot the way they did in that first half, that's going to help too. Let's see what they can do here on this possession.
Well, we spoke of Mackenzie Kramer's
God.
viral clip as an 8th grader, but her own personal moment, her personal favorite, came last year when they played Elk River. They were trailing by 3 in the regular season meeting. Kramer hits a pull-up to tie the game. And then the Knights run a play for her to get a layup to win that game.
Oh, what a pass. That's just great court awareness there.
Kendall Cox scores as a result. Who got that dime? Who made that pass, Alex?
I think that was Kramer.
Well, on cue, Kramer with those ball handling skills. As my voice is cracking here. Tessa Johnson for 3.
Oh.
It's there.
Well, STMA picking up right where they left off.
And when your threes are going in, good things can happen. And with the way this game is played, I think you've seen the shot chart in the NBA, how much that has changed. As Agar scores down low, it's imperative these days for athletes to have three-point shooters. And if this is any indication, STMA has got a bunch of them. Kramer. No good. Paige Beckers, coast to coast. Another 20-point game for Paige. On pace for her third 30-point game this season. Back to a 1-point game. Tessa Johnson lost control, and then Paige dribbled it off her foot. You don't see that often.
No, you do not. It does show that she is human.
Lily Tennyson, no good on the 3, but Cox is there. Alexander blocked from behind. Things getting a little frenetic here. Paige. No good that time. Knights on the run. Tessa Johnson scores the layup.
So impressed with Tessa Johnson.
And that's a 4-point swing potentially. As we said with Tessa before, she's got a lengthy lineage. High-low play for Nagel, nothing doing. But she does get her own rebound and will shoot 2.
I'll tell you what, don't ever underestimate Maya Nagel. She's so strong on the boards. Gets the first one to go down.
And she will be one of the centerpieces in the next couple of years for Hopkins.
Yep.
I know everyone's riding the Paige Beckers train right now, but they've got some athletes
Oh, they sure do.
to keep this motor running.
Oh, boy.
Woodson with the steal. Can she take it all the way? Yes. Three ball. Corner pocket.
I don't know how many O's and Ahs we've had tonight, but we've had a lot of them.
Was that Cox or Kramer?
I believe that was Kramer.
I thought so too. The PA announcer said Cox. Well, unofficially, Kramer with 5 3-pointers. I take that back, 4 3-pointers. But STMA, they're hitting a lot of threes.
Oh, my goodness.
Beckers with the tip in. The Knights, they have knocked down 12 triples. And an offensive foul on St. Michael-Albertville.
And I didn't see what she did either, Mike.
Nagel. Oh, that's almost automatic. Nagel up to 14. Hopkins retakes the lead.
Ooh, a little too high. That's the danger of those skip passes.
Agara. 15-footer does not drop. There's Paige again.
And that's the thing. You've got to limit those second and third opportunities. Those are costly for STMA. Wow.
And an offensive foul.
Ken
on
Hamry
Alexander.
really upset on that one, and I don't blame him.
We could be witnessing a turning point in this game. Alexander picks up her third foul.
Hamry letting his displeasure known.
And the way this game is shaping up, this could be the potential,
Yep.
I don't want to say dagger, but this is a prime opportunity for Hopkins. They withstood St. Michael-Albertville's run in the first half when they trailed by 10. Now they have a chance to put a statement here.
Again, their second and third opportunities.
And that will be the fourth foul on Alexander. But Hopkins controlling the glass, especially in the offensive side right now. Woodson in her spare time enjoys baking. Goes up to 9 there. Woodson averaging 14 points per game. Splits at the line. First miss for the Royals, but their lead is 5.
Important here for STMA to stay within striking distance, down by 5 now.
They did adapt to an early Hopkins run at the start of the game. Miller for three. Beckers with the rebound. Leaks out to Adams for the layup.
All of a sudden, that lead is stretched to 7 now.
This is what Hopkins does so well.
Yep.
Timeout, St. Michael-Albertville.
Ken Henry wants to talk about it.
Paige Bueckers, the cover athlete of this year's breakdown book. I think that's been the case every year over the last 2 or 3. They did a Q&A with her. One of those questions, what skills does it take to be a great passer? She said it takes a high basketball IQ. And she says her court vision was God's gift to her. As you know, faith and basketball, 2 strong parts of her identity.
Yes.
It's not uncommon for her to do post-game prayers after every match. And when she's out on the court, she tries to think 3 steps ahead of what's actually going on so she can see the move play out in her head.
Yeah.
Most times you would tell your players not to do that, not get ahead of yourself, but Paige,
She just has that uncanny ability to do that in so many instances, in so many situations.
well, 2 of her idols are known for doing that, Sue Bird and Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
So when a pass is there, Paige is hoping she's already predicted it. You know what? She could be the Tony Romo of basketball if she wanted to go into broadcasting or anything else.
Yep.
Well, whether it was God's gift or her own doing, it's cool to see someone like Paige facilitate like she does. They're going to keep Alexander in there. She scores the layup there, and that was a bucket the Knights needed. And to finish up on Paige, what impressed me, even though she doesn't score there, most players, if they have a bad shooting night, it throws them off. For Paige, she just goes into passing mode. And I think she'll get hit with a foul there.
Well, now you see Vanessa Alexander
No, it's on
aggressively
Woodson instead.
taking it to the hoop. She needs to get actively involved on the offensive end.
Five-point game. And another foul. No one from Hopkins in big foul trouble yet, but
Well, we saw in that first
the
half,
Knights will take it.
the foul is working in favor of STMA.
That was Tuesday, Alex.
I know.
That was one heck of a game Tuesday, though. Hopkins didn't pull away until late. And even though Wayzata didn't win, I think it was a reminder that they can still play. Because when they lost to Park Center, as Mackenzie Kramer, oh my goodness.
I tell you what, talk about ad-libbing. That was a wonderful job by Mackenzie Kramer right there. Was in a little bit of trouble, it looked like, but she made the most of it, did a little spin move, and got the score.
Well, she's a D1 commit too. Looking to end her high school career with a section title. Bueckers draws the blocking foul. Not gonna lie, Bueckers and Kramer was the matchup I was looking forward to most with the handles those two possess. We talk a lot about Paige, but Mackenzie Kramer, if she went to a maybe higher level D1 school, I think she would get more attention than she does. And Nagel hit with an offensive foul. That is a third.
Well, I was just going to say, now STMA out of fouls to give.
They still have one.
Still one.
But just when it looked like Hopkins was about to go up big, we've seen this again and again. St. Michael-Albertville finding a response. So Nagel with their third, Cox with their third. I think Alexander still has 4. As I was saying, if Kramer went to a higher level D1 school, I think she would get more attention. Lehigh considered a mid-major, so not a lot of respect. And that's an unfortunate miscue. And especially against Hopkins, you don't want unforced errors like that.
No. Little miscommunication there, as our late friend Tony Gear would say.
I wonder how amused he would be over these last couple of days where I've called games with half my voice. Paige Bueckers pulls up, no good.
And again, we're seeing those second and third opportunities.
Agara scores and has a chance to make it a 6-point game. Cox picks up her fourth, and STMA, they've got some serious foul trouble to navigate. They're also out of fouls to give. Hopkins, I believe, hit the century mark against Waconia as Agara completes the three-point play. And it helps when you're 10 of 11 from the free throw line. And Hopkins, they did hit the century mark once, 101-57 win over Waconia. Kramer in trouble. Alexander has to lay off. Chance for Hopkins to go up big.
Oh, goodness.
Bueckers pushes Johnson aside. And that was Paige's way of saying, welcome to the big leagues, freshman. 26 for Paige. Kramer for three. Woodson with the rebound.
Cool off a little since that first half.
This would be big. But again, Hopkins in position to get those rebounds. Woodson, too strong. I'll tell you what, Tessa Johnson does a good job drawing fouls.
Yes, she does. Her style is similar to that of Becker's. I think she's still needs to get a little more experience, but her style is very similar.
Remember, she's a freshman. Paige is a senior. It's kind of like when Paige started varsity at Hopkins as an 8th grader. Back then, the leaders were Ashley Bates and Nia Holly.
Yeah.
Ashley doing big things at Hampton. Nia finishing up her college career at Michigan State. Kramer not giving up on the threes, but they're not going in right now. Paige to Agara.
Boy, I tell you what.
This is what makes Hopkins so tough defensively as Paige pulls up and scores. They know where to be in half-court sets. They know where to set up. Jalila Chakolis last year told me they run intense practices that can go for 2 or 3 hours at a time. The idea is work them hard in practice so the games are less stressful and more fun. Kramer could not get past Adams, but it will stay with STMA. I'm surprised not as many cameras tonight as I'm used to. I see a couple folks in overtime though. As you know, with Paige Bueckers and Jalen Suggs, both McDonald's All-Americans, they'll play April 1st at the Big game as Tessa Johnson fires the deep three, and it's
that
pure.
was huge.
STMA calls a timeout. They have one left. But everywhere Paige and Jalen go, cameras usually follow.
Yep.
76-69. And every time I see Hopkins play, it makes me want to cover another game. They're just that fun to watch, and so is St.
I tell you what, this
Michael-Albertville.
STMA team, in my humble opinion, Mike, is pretty impressive too.
Well, let's talk a little more about STMA before my voice goes entirely. Mackenzie Kramer. No wonder why she's got good handles, because she can also juggle.
Oh,
She's a juggler. And she's also a mentor for students in the Build program at Bethel University. A 45% three-point shooter last year. Vanessa Alexander, a water skier and wakeboarder. She'll be going Division II. Same with Lily Tennyson. Winona and MSU Moorhead, I believe. Yes, Tennyson going to Moorhead, Alexander going to Winona State to be precise. Emma Miller and Kendall Cox are also bakers in their spare time.
well, 7:25 here left in regulation. Let's see if STMA can come up with some things on defense and shrink this deficit.
Looking for a stop. That's hard to do, though, when you've got Nagel down low and so much length down there as well, but they do get the stop, as you noted. Can they cash in? And in the same token, this is the first of potentially 3 meetings, so whatever happens tonight, you want to get the win, but
Yeah.
you don't want to get too caught up in the results either, especially with the rematch coming up.
Daring drive by Miller, just couldn't cash in on that little floater.
I should point out that some of Paige's EAU teammates are watching this one, including the Minnehaha Academy group. Paige Bueckers and Mia Curtis played together at North Tartan and the Metro Stars. Bueckers adds another assist. Nagel goes up to 16. And this is the stretch of the game where Hopkins usually prevails. The closing stages, but they're built for this. As you and I have seen, and as Tony Gear witnessed all those years ago.
Oh, Paige Bueckers came out of nowhere.
Knights able to recover, though. Johnson for 3, in and out. Last touch by Contreras.
I tell you what, really impressed with Miller and her hustle tonight.
You mentioned Tony Gear earlier. I have to wonder what he would make of all the athletes that have come up since his passing.
Yeah.
With Ashley Bates, Nia Holly, Paige Bueckers.
Yep.
As you and I both know, he had a bond with the Hopkins crew.
What a good pass. Great finish, too.
Tennyson threading the needle to Kendall Cox. Not an easy thing to do. And it's a 7-point game. Knights trying to hang with Hopkins. Bueckers. Nice play by Johnson. STMA with the arrow. That was a good pass by Bueckers, but Johnson reacted quickly enough
Yeah.
and kept it all ball. Usually when you go down like that, you get hit with a foul. Johnson able to avoid contact.
A big stop by the Knights nonetheless, and a chance here to get closer, and they turn it over.
And watching Hopkins, to me, that's what separates them from the other teams. They don't make as many unforced errors. Last year, it was Beckers and Chacolas who often hooked up. This year, it's Beckers and Nagel. Johnson with the deep three. Bullseye. Tessa Johnson with 20 points. She dropped 30 at this very floor against Farmington. St. Michael-Albertville didn't win that game, but Tessa Johnson proves she can put up big numbers in big-time environments. And that was a badly needed three by the Knights. Now, Hopkins playing a little keep away here. They're going to work the clock. Can the Knights force a stop? They're going to need it. And if the Knights stay in this formation, Hopkins just going to eat up time. I know you don't want to risk getting burned by this athletic team, but you're trailing by 6, and time is not on your side.
Oh, what a pass.
Nagel, no good.
And
Gets
again,
her own miss, and will shoot 2 more.
You know, we've seen Hopkins in the second half get all those second and third opportunities. And that's proving so costly for STMA.
Maya Nagel, the 6'4" sophomore. Missing the front end. That foul was the 3rd on Lily Tennyson, and another miss, but it's Hopkins' ball. What also impresses me, these two teams have been playing with a 6-player rotation the whole game. Most other teams go 7-8 deep usually. So Hopkins can eat up more time.
Coming down on 3 minutes.
As the Knights couldn't cash in on that break with Nagel missing both free throws. Now STMA starting to extend their defense. They don't have a lot of options if they want to play foul and chase. Hopkins, they'll run more time off the clock.
Well, already under 2:30.
So the Royals have eaten up 90 seconds of clock, and there's the foul. That'll send Woodson to the line. And this is where rebounding has been crucial. Hopkins getting the edge in offensive rebounds with that length of theirs.
That's really been the key for them in the second half.
The guard, the freshman at 6'1", Nagel, the sophomore at 6'4", Taylor Woodson, freshman at 5'11". And whether or not any of those aforementioned players make a run at some of Paige's records, they're going to etch their name in this lengthy Hopkins history. Hopkins 12 of 15 from the line. Knights, they're going to need a quick score. Backdoor play. Nagel was there. And Hopkins can just about ice it here.
Well, now if you're STMA, you're reduced to having to gamble. Oh, there's
Kramer got the poke, but nobody was there. And Hopkins will call a timeout. They had 3 available.
Heck of an effort by Kramer there to try and snare the steal.
Should Hopkins hang on to win this game, they would go to 17-0. They still are looking to make up their game with Stillwater. Beyond that, Minnetonka, Edina, and Buffalo are next on the schedule. Those should be winnable games.
Then everything seems to come down to that YZ game on Valentine's
February
night.
14th,
Yep.
and the rematch with STMA on February 18th.
And
That
then
game,
they do go to STMA.
remember, they're in the conference, so they play
Yep,
twice.
yep.
That game, February 18th with STMA, CCX will have live coverage of that one. So if you're watching this on the CCX airwaves, Hopkins throws it away on the inbound. Lifeline for the Knights. Johnson and one.
What a move by Tessa Johnson. My goodness.
This game, in many ways, represents a passing of the baton with folks like Kramer and Beckers and KK Adams in their final year
Right.
as we send them off. And then the newcomers, the next generation,
Yep.
Nagel and Tessa Johnson and Nunu Agara. One of many reasons why this rivalry has been so competitive over the last several years.
Well, it's still not a done deal yet for Hopkins. You know, STMA is going to be bringing the pressure now.
Hopkins
Here we
still has
go.
a foul to give. But STMA, they're going to have to play foul and chase here. And I believe that's the 5th on Tennyson. It is. So she will finish with 8 points. And tough situation for the Knights to be in. Kendall Cox will go back in. And if you're a basketball fan, just looking back at this matchup, you have to be gritting that this is a conference series now.
Yeah, absolutely.
As Woodson knocks down the front end. Before, it was just a non-conference friendly.
Yeah.
Now you get to play them twice. You know, it benefits STMA. It benefits all the former Lake teams or the current ones. They get to add 2 more high-quality matches to the schedule. Kramer steps into a 3, drills it.
STMA not going away yet.
Ken Henry uses his final timeout. You still need a couple things to go their way, but again, this is a benefit of STMA joining the group. You get more exciting matchups.
Oh, absolutely.
Across the board.
Yep.
STMA benefits because they get more high-quality competition. Hopkins, Wayzata, they benefit because they don't have as many games to try to schedule. And you know you're going to get 2 good ones.
Yep.
And all the big names for these 2 teams, they've stepped up. They performed to the best of their ability.
Yep.
You cannot ask for much more in this matchup.
I think Ken Hamry came with a very solid game plan tonight. You know, limiting, at least in the first half anyway, limiting those transition opportunities that Hopkins likes to get into, where it makes it so almost impossible at times to stop.
Looking at the schedule, you figured this would be one of the tougher weeks for Hopkins, getting Wayzata and St. Michael-Albertville.
We're talking about Murderers Row.
Well, and they schedule tough, so they play Park Center, Farmington. This is nothing out of the ordinary for them, but You figured if there was a week that would test them, this would be it. Nagel with the dagger.
Yeah, again.
There it is.
Again, those second and third opportunities.
And that length of hers just allows her to beat so many defenders on the glass. That's the fourth and Alexander. Not many players can contain Maya Nagel down low. I said this last year, it's no different this year. Paige is not the only playmaker for this Hopkins team. And that should do it. That three-point play dagger by Nagel is going to help Hopkins stay undefeated. Now, as we noted before, they play Wayzata and STMA again. So a path to an undefeated season is not a certainty.
Oh,
by any
absolutely
means.
not. You know, there's always that added pressure when you're undefeated to keep that undefeated streak going, as we saw with the New England Patriots just a few years ago.
Well, Hopkins, they're used to it. Remember, they didn't lose last year.
Right.
They haven't lost since the 2018 state championship.
You know, I think because of that, these other teams have had to get better. Your Wayzatas, your STMAs, your Park Centers, your Elk Rivers.
I've said that several times before, and I believe that's true. And when Hopkins dominated the group, when the Coffee Sisters were there, much like UConn in the college level, other teams figured if we're going to contend and stop this, we got to get better. And we saw that in the middle part of this decade, last decade. But Hopkins, they'll find ways to get better too. And they found a way to step up in the closing stages, just like Tuesday with Wayzata. Hopkins survives again. 88-80 the final. All five starters in double digits for the Royals. And that 1-2 punch of Paige Bueckers and Maya Nagel, real tough to stop.
Yeah, it really is. And again, in that this second half, Mike, we saw all the second and third opportunities they got on the offensive end, and that really made the difference right there.
It did, but the good news is we get to do this again.
Yep.
Well, you and I, not specifically, but these two teams will meet again, so
Yep.
if you didn't like how this one turned out, if you're St. Michael-Albertville, we get a second try.
Yep.
So with that, we'll try to get a word with Paige and Maya before we wrap it up from the Lindbergh Center. This is high school girls basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Joining me are Paige Bueckers and Maya Nagel, the 1-2 combination for Hopkins, although with Hopkins it's not just a 1-2 punch. Paige, 28 points tonight, a lot of assists, and just like Tuesday, Wayzata gave you a run. St. Michael-Albertville did the same thing. They went up by 10. You bounced back, tied it up at the half, came out in the second half. How did you close out?
I think we just wanted to lock in on defense. I've never seen a team shoot that well, so we knew that they were going to have to cool down at some point, and we had to just stick to our game plan and keep playing Hopkins basketball, and we knew we would come out with the win.
When you see a team knock down threes like they did, I know you actually went outside too to match them. As you said, they're going to cool off eventually, but how do you handle that barrage?
We try to just stay focused, stay locked in. I mean, we were probably getting frustrated a little bit. Every shot they shot went through the net. And so we were just trying to stay patient on offense and limit their shots to not let them get offensive rebounds so they weren't getting any more opportunities than they had. But we were just trying to stay locked in.
This is your first game since it was announced that you will play in the McDonald's All-American game, one of many honors that have come your way over the last couple of years. What do you make of the recognition you're getting? I know it's an award, it's another game, but what does that say about how much work you put in to earn that accolade?
Yeah, I mean, me and my trainer talk about it all the time. I'm just trying to make God famous. He's done so much for me, and just the blessings that he's poured on me, it's amazing. And it's obviously my hard work too, and my teammates, and just all the relationships and people that push around me. So it's a lot of hard work, and definitely God's blessing. So it means a lot for it to pay off.
You keep this up, you're going to owe him one or two when you have a chance to meet him.
I sure am.
Well, and some props are also due to Maya Nagel. Maya, your work tonight on the boards, especially in the offensive side, was impressive. How do you think that helped Hopkins emerge in a tough fight with a now conference rival?
It definitely helped a lot because we're shooting a lot and we're getting the ball inside out, working it in. So I just had to get rebounds and give us second opportunity since they were doing so well on their side.
What kind of work do you put in to become such a potent force on the glass?
I just got to get stronger every day. I'm always in the gym lifting, getting stronger because I know that's my weakness has always been finishing through contact and just being weaker and too skinny. So I'm just trying to
It gets me in practice. I got pretty big muscles, so.
Too skinny, too weak? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's how it used to be. It's been motivation to just get stronger every day. Paige kind of give me some work in practice, but I'll be handling that every day.
I would hope so. Now, you've had a chance to see this rivalry. It was a non-conference one. Now that it's a conference matchup with St. Michael-Albertville, as tough as they play, how challenging was that for you?
It was definitely a little hard to just be playing so hard on defense.
You got a little fan.
It's my cousin. To be playing so hard on defense and then they just make all their shots. But it's definitely a good test for our team because if we're blowing every team out, it's not going to get us any better. So.
And you can't see this, but behind us, the mini Ha-Ha kids are trying to upstage either Paige or Maya. Paige and Mia Curtis were AAU teammates, I should point out, at Metro Stars and North Tartan. And for Paige, what does this rivalry mean to you? You played St. Michael-Albertville over the years. They always play you close. And now that you get to play them twice, what does that add?
I mean, it's really fun just to play good teams like this. I mean, they're a top 5 team in the state, so just to get good battles and good dogfights like this in. And they come to our gym and shoot the lights out every time, so I'm excited to go out there and hopefully do the same to them.
That's right. You get to play them a second time. CCX will be there for that one. I know I want to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And just what would you make of this ride? And you've had a couple of tough games. What do you think that will do to prepare you for postseason play?
I think it's really good for us. I mean, we've had the past 2 games have been really tight ones, and it's just helping us get better, and it's making us come out and keep our composure and knock down free throws at the end of the game and just get in late game situations when it's a close game. So it's definitely good to have games that are not blowouts all the time, and it just makes us better for sure.
And Maya, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely the same thing what she said. These tests are testing our perseverance and how we work together and get through tough situations as a team. So this is definitely helping us in the long run, and it will help us in the state tournament too and sections.
Who do you want to say hi to?
Hi to all my little cousins that here supporting, all my family, aunties and uncles. My parents, my brother down in Arizona.
And Paige, what about you?
My mom, my siblings, AZ, my dog Stewie, grandpa, grandma, Autumn.
Well, thanks for stopping by, and congrats on another hard-fought win, and thanks for putting on a show. I know it takes a lot of work to make it as fun as you guys do, but it's a joy to watch, and I'm glad we get to go along for the ride.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Maya Nagel and Paige Bueckers, and that wraps up our coverage here from the Lindbergh Center. For the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.